Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to run you guys through a Steam game that is now free forever. Yes, Life is Feudal MMO is now free forever. This game has had a pretty mixed reception, but now that it has gone completely free to play, yes, it's still in early access, but you can check it out free of charge. We'll go over the blog post they put out and all the updates that are coming to the game as well. Also, Cyberpunk 2077, more information about that is coming out. It's going to have a hardcore mode with no UI, but they also want to make sure that people that aren't well versed in first-person shooters have an option to play the game, so I want to go over some details on that. And lastly, Steam has got an awesome hidden deal right now, and that is on Prey. It is 80% off. That is such a great game, a game that I know a lot of you guys missed out on, but I definitely want to go over that deal and just gush about that game a little bit. It's been, what, north of 2 years since Prey was originally released, and unfortunately, back in 2017, it was one of the unsung gems, but you can get familiarized with the game for 10% of its original cost, so we'll go over that at the end of this video. First up, again, Life is Feudal MMO is now free to play. Now, this is a game that I never got a chance to play. It was released all the way back in early 2018, and unfortunately it does have a pretty mixed reception. All-time user reviews with 4,072 reviews have it at 40% positive, which isn't that great. It's just teetering on the edge of being negative, and you'll see if you go to the reviews, there are a lot of negative reviews. However, there are a couple of positive reviews in there as well, and now that it is free to play, you have nothing to lose by at least trying it out. The official website put out a blog post saying, "Good day, Feudalists. If you've been around during our last AMA, then you probably know already that we plan to switch to a new free-to-play model that would give even more opportunities for newcomers, and finally, we're excited to announce that starting today, that every new member of our community shall receive a ticket and a 3 days free of premium subscription. We hope that it'll bring more new players to the adventures and journeys on Golden Land. We also would like to take a moment to say a heartfelt thank you to all our veterans who were supporting daily from the beginning of Life is Feudal history. You guys are breathtaking." Okay, that meme continues to persist, and we will do our best to develop Life is Feudal further, improve and extend Feudal experience for all our players. This week's patch has been heavily influenced by your suggestions from the last AMA session. Thanks to all of the participants, we've gathered a decent amount of information to use in order to improve the experience our game brings to you. They go through a large host of changes, most notably game mode switch to a new F2P model. Each user will receive 1 ticket to Abella and 3 days of premium subscription to his premium shop inventory after registration. Added a new object in the starting village's Traveler's Idol, which will allow you to teleport to a guild monument via guest code or to another village. Each teleport has its own cooldown of 48 hours. I won't go through all of the refinements and updates that's being rolled out, but you can check it out for yourself. Again, I know that the game has had a relatively negative reception, but it does tout non-target PvP combat and full loot, guild wars and massive sieges, instance battles and PvP arena and raids to mysterious natives. You've got 7 medieval professions, and it does look like the studio is committed to updating the game pretty regularly. Of course, there are in-game purchases, and I do see the Pilgrim Starter Pack, which is $50, and to get everything, it would be $180 to get the Pagan Starter Pack and the Zealot Starter Pack, so that's a little crazy, but nonetheless, the base game itself is free to play, so give that a look. Okay, moving on from that, Cyberpunk 2077, whenever information about this game comes out, I get pretty excited because this is a game that I've been looking forward to going back to 2012 when it was originally announced, and WCCF Tech talked to CD Projekt Red about the game, its difficulty settings, and everything in between, so I wanted to take a look at some interesting quotes, specifically that the game was noted to have a hardcore mode that disables the user interface completely. Noted, quote, "The most fun one I think will be the hardcore setting where we turn off the UI, and that will be a real challenge for a lot of players. Also, at the same time, if you want to play more casually for the story and maybe you're not experienced with shooters, which was a real big concern for us, we want to tell a story and maybe you're a big fan of The Witcher and you're not comfortable playing a shooter, we have settings available for that. We even have weapons for that. If you recall from last year's demo, we had a weapon called the Smart Gun, which helps you aim. The bullets were much slower and usually a bit weaker, but if aiming isn't your forte, you can always pick up the Smart Gun." So that's really cool. Cyberpunk 2077 is one of those games, while it does play like a traditional first-person shooter and a lot of the gameplay mechanics, it's also a game that a lot of people that just like RPGs are going to pick up. A lot of people that were enamored with The Witcher know about this game just on the basis that it's coming from CD Projekt Red, so from that sense, you want to make sure that this game is engaging to all players, and that's why offering different difficulty settings is very important. Now, this isn't a case like Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice was a game that was developed by From Software, a studio that's known for these brutally difficult games, and adding an easy difficult to that would honestly ruin the integrity of the game. In the case of Cyberpunk 2077, it's coming from a studio that's known to offer a variety of different difficulty options. I've seen that comparison being thrown around. It's like, oh, hey, CD Projekt Red is throwing difficulty options. Why can't Sekiro throw that in? Well, Sekiro is a little bit different, where it was designed fundamentally with the thought of, hey, this is a brutally difficult game. If you don't want that kind of experience, don't buy the game. So to make that comparison, I don't think is right as all. You have to assess every game based on the design and the idea that the developer had in mind. With Cyberpunk 2077, vastly a different experience comparatively speaking to Sekiro, but nonetheless, Cyberpunk is going to offer a hardcore mode with no UI, and it is going to offer an easier difficulty mode for those of you that don't want to take part in, getting so invested into the shooting mechanics and just go through the story. Personally speaking, I'll probably play through the game in its normal difficulty or whatever that's called. That's traditionally how I play the CD Projekt Red games. That's traditionally how I play the majority of games. Unless a game gets brutally difficult, then yes, sometimes there are those rare games where I will dock the setting down to easy. But trust me, I do not feel good about doing that. But in the case of Cyberpunk 2077, it's really going to allow you to tailor the experience how you want to, not only from the difficulty side of things, but in terms of creating your characters. There's choices that you make. Choices is going to be a big aspect of the game, so that is pretty cool. And lastly, I wanted to give you guys a heads up that Prey is 80% off on Steam right now, down to $5.99. Guys, I cannot say enough good things about this game. I went as far as to say that this was one of my favorite games of 2017. At this point, I forgot exactly what games came out in 2017, but I remember the imperative thought at the end of 2017. I was like, damn, Prey was a great game, and it's honestly a contender for Game of the Year. Since the release of Prey, of course, we did have some DLC be released. We had Prey Typhon Hunter as well as Prey Moon Crash. You can get the digital deluxe edition 80% off for $8, so that's not a bad buy either. However, if you just want to go through the single player experience, $5.99 for Prey is such a good deal, and I know it's a game that a lot of you guys missed out on. So if you want that atmosphere heavy, story driven first person shooter, it's got some Metroidvania elements to it. Gameplay is great, and yes, you can speedrun it and complete it rather quickly. However, if you take your time, really do everything that the game has to offer, it has a decent amount of content in there as well. We're talking anywhere from 15 to 18 hours if you just go through the game naturally, so I wanted to give that a mention, as well as that's a deal that's going a little bit under the radar, but great deal nonetheless. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, Life is Feudal MMO is going completely free to play. Do give that a look if you have a modicum of interest. I know the reception hasn't been all too strong, but it is free. Cyberpunk 2077 is going to have a variety of different difficulty options, and you can save 80% on Prey right now. That's going to conclude this video. If you guys have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.